Hello, you lovely, lovely people. Welcome back. Look, I've got my collar up today. Look, I'm a bit like Elvis Presley. Saturday. Anyway, an update as you all wanted, or some of you wanted to say, keep us updated. So I am doing exactly that. Regarding the shooting and killing of the guy from Sibulan, I think it is, near Dumaguete. So I'm just giving you an update. Two people were arrested Wednesday, I believe it was, from the information that I've been reading on the Philippine Star. And the third guy shit himself, and he voluntarily handed himself in, panic. But there is meant to be a fourth suspect who they are trying to find. Apparently, the partner wasn't involved, apparently, so the police have come to the conclusion that she wasn't involved. But what she did do, maybe to make it look that she certainly wasn't involved, was she made a claim of the assault. And anyway, the police did the forensics and everything like that, and the examinations, and they found out that she wasn't assaulted. So that's why she was a suspect, or she was a person of interest. But there's a lot of stuff going around on YouTube about this at the moment, and none of us really know what's happening. The police have only just told us they've arrested two, and I said one shit himself and handed himself in. So there's three in custody, and they are suspects, and the police are preparing the paperwork as they do. And you see, here in the Philippines, and I mean this, people, really, I mean, I've been offered, firearms, but they are so easily obtainable. And this is, and I always keep this in my head. I've always kept this in my head. And I know this guy that we're talking about, the doctor, the professor, I believe he was. He didn't have an option. But if I was approached, and I really mean this, there is no amount of money that's worth my life. If I had $1 million on me and someone was to come up to me with a gun and say, give me your, there you go. I'm not a hero. And I certainly would never want to be the person on his headstone that said, here lies Stephen Irwin Smith. He was a hero. He confronted the man with a gun for money. I don't want that on my headstone. You can take it. But the thing is, this is the guy selling fish, and I think you might go past. But what they do here, people, I'm just changing the subject a bit. When they come past with fish, and someone says yes, or oi, as they do, they stop and they don't turn that bloody tannoid off. So you've got that tannoid going on all the time as they selling fish, and they've stopped outside. Yes, it's so annoying, people, really. But he's gone anyway. So, like I was saying, firearms is so easily obtainable here. And there are so many. I've been told this by a guy who is in the PNP, and he doesn't live far from here. Let's just leave it at that. And there are so many unlicensed firearms. And you bet your life that this slaying wasn't with a licensed gun. It would have been an unlicensed gun. So that's what I mean, people. You've got to, have your awareness around you all the time. Like I've said time and time again, don't go to the ATM machine late at night, when there's no one around. Don't do it. You don't need to be there at that particular time of night. You think, well, do I need to put myself at risk by going to that ATM machine? There's no one around, there's no cars around, it's night time, or can I wait till the morning? Wait till the morning, people, And I'm not saying these things will happen, because the chances are they probably won't, but you don't want to put yourself into any situation where it could. Now, granted, none of us can be 100% safe, no matter how well we try and like remove ourselves from any, from any situation that could be. But at least we can be as sensible as we can and take ourselves out of a situation where possibly we might be putting ourselves into a predicament that's not going to end well. And I've got to say this, where like a lot of comments that I had, particularly about this subject, is, well, that's put me off coming to the Philippines. I've been here for 9 years. 9 years gone in May. And yes, this does happen. Does it make me a little bit jittery? No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. I mean, I think if I live next door, or like very, very close to where something like this had happened, I would be jittery. I will be honest. But because it hasn't, and there has been nothing happened in this little barangay where I am, according to the local people, for a long time. Not even thefts or robberies or anything like that. But I think when you are in an area, people, this is just my, my opinion, okay? When you are in an area where you've got a massive house, which this area where this guy lived was a well-to-do area. Now, I'm not saying we can't live in well-to-do areas, but we can alleviate some of maybe a notion of a robber that's going to come and take you. Like my house here, it's not fenced. I haven't got a fence around this this property, or a wall around this property. And the reason I do that is not because I can't do it. It's because why would I want to do it? The people come in. My neighbours. Walk down into my terrace when I'm having a couple of drinks, and that, and they join me. I don't want to be segregating myself off. My neighbour has got that fence around his property, and he's paranoid. He's paranoid. If any car comes past here, like a 4-wheel drive or something like that, he's paranoid. Like I've been out there before, and I've been maintaining the garden out there, like I do sometimes, because I like to do that. And he'll say, like I'm sweeping away or I'm weeding, and he'll say, "Who's that?" And I'll, I don't know. I said, "There's probably someone down there," but he's paranoid. He's paranoid all the time. Now, I couldn't live like that. I couldn't be anywhere where I felt like I was paranoid. And do I feel paranoid living here? No, I don't. But I think if I was closer to where these things happen, and I think this might be a reason why expats form their own community. Maybe they feel more secure. I don't know, because I'm not in a community of that. Like today, I'm going out with some Filipino friends. I'm going out with like a lad that I normally have a couple of beers with on a weekend, on a Saturday round here. Sometimes he comes round. So, we're going to go into Dipolog today, and have a few beers. But I don't get involved with that expat community, not just for that. I just don't want that drama of being in that. And I know sometimes it's not always drama. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit there, I don't know. But it's just not for me, people. I like to keep myself to myself, and I do mix with the local people. Getting back to this topic here that we are talking about, this was probably, from what I've been reading, and as the police said, it was just a poorly, it was probably thought about now and then going to do it 10 minutes later. It wasn't thought of this. Now, is there more people involved? Apparently there is one more person that they are looking for. Is there any more involved? Maybe. But apparently his partner has been ruled out. Now, whether that changes in the future or not, I don't know. I'm just giving you the information that I know here. But listen, people, yes, it can be the Wild West here. As people say, it can be the Wild West here, and it can be the Wild West here. But do you want to put yourself, do you want to put yourself at risk, or come here, keep a low profile, mix in with the local people, don't upset people, because I'm telling you something now, you upset these local people and they won't forget. I'm telling you that. You've just got to bite your tongue. If they do upset you, just bite your tongue and, you know, just smile and laugh it off. And if they offer you a shot, like they will do, the local people, because they're very accommodating, they're very, very friendly, especially when they've had a drink. Either say you don't drink, if you don't want to drink their drink, you know, because they share the same glass. Now, I'm not a prude, people. I am not, you know, like I was brought up on an estate where it wasn't posh or anything like that. But I don't like sharing glasses. I'm one of these people that I just don't like sharing glasses. So they know that here now. So they don't ask me, because I won't. But don't turn it down. Like, I know I'm not drinking with you guys. Just say, no, I'm sorry, I don't drink, or oh no, I don't feel very good right now. So decline it with a bit of respect, if you know what I'm talking about. Because as I said, you don't upset people here, and they don't forget. Men and Filipinos and Filipinas, they just do not forget if you upset them. But please, people, you know, I mean, if you're thinking about coming here, and I'm saying don't let something like this put you off, you know, and you're going to say, well, what do you mean don't let something like that put you off? I mean, these cases are isolated, I think, you know, because you've got to think as well, when like an expat foreigner, especially an American, gets shot or killed here or robbed or something like that, it's headline news. It's headline news. So the ones that you are hearing about is the only ones that it's happened to. And one is too many. I know one is too many. And I've been here for, you know, like I said, for 9 years, and there's been, you know, a handful of people, you know. Elliot Eastman, I can't, you know, people say he brought it upon himself. Well, perhaps he did, but I mean, no one deserves to lose a life. And I think he was a bit, you know, he shouldn't have been doing money lending, which I did a video of that, I think, yesterday or something. He was doing things he shouldn't have been doing. He was in a place he shouldn't have been in. So he was basically, and like I said, he didn't deserve to lose his life. No one deserves, you know, to lose their life doing what he was doing, you know. He was just trying to make a few quid. But again, even the police said to him, don't be here. Even his wife's family said, don't be here. But he stayed, you know, like I think he thought he was a pioneer or something, of being the only foreigner there, you know, sort of on this beach that was in a dangerous place. We'll leave it at that. But people, don't let it put you off coming to the Philippines, you know. These things happen in Thailand, these things happen in Southeast Asian countries, these things happen all over the world. But here, you know, there are more opportunists, I think, and, you know, more scams do happen here. But they aren't scams where they are in our countries. Like, you know, in our countries, scams are like for so much money. Here, it's scams like, you know, the partner might scam you with this or that. And it's kind of opportunists. If they find a way, you know, to earn a few quid or peso as they call it. I always call it peso. I think it's my accent. Peso. It just sounds wrong when I say peso. They might. Not all. Not all. Again, not all. I don't know what the percentage is of people that get scammed here. I don't. You know, I look into it, and I don't think we're being targeted. Like people say, oh, the Americans are being targeted. You know, keep your head on a swivel and just watch out. I don't think it's anything to do with that. And I also got your messages saying, you know, perhaps it's something to do with what's happening in America. You know, the high prices of things and this and that, and you know, the Iran war. And I don't think it's anything to do with any of that. I think it's just opportunists. I think this particular case was maybe thought out. Think, oh, this guy's got a few quid. We're going, you know. But the only startling thing about it to me is why they didn't tie him up or something like that. And the reason for this is probably because he could have identified them, so they just went in and shot him. And apparently, one of the suspects, a professor, the biologist, he employed him to do a bit of building work. So that's probably when he was looking around, as they do when they come in your house. They were looking around, probably thought this is a well-to-do area. He's got plenty of things here worth value. So that's probably what happened there. You know, he cased the place out, told his mates, probably had a few drinks, and did the deed. So people, we aren't being targeted. You know, it's, you know, I live in bloody Mindanao, for God's sake. You know, the red zone area, as they call it. But I mean, I'm saying, when I say things like that, I'm thinking, am I tempting fate? So when I say, but I live in a foreigner-friendly part of that area. I wouldn't go down where it's not. Of course I wouldn't. Why would I want to put myself in risk? I've got a family to think of. And even if I didn't have a family to think of, I still wouldn't put myself at risk by going to places I shouldn't be at. But that's it, people. It's just a little update, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And again, listen, thank you for the subscriptions and your support, and I really do appreciate it. I really do. And I'm going to say the words that I normally say. I'm going to be over and out, people. I'm going for a beer today with, as I said, 2 Filipino friends. Won't be out too long because, you know, my wife and the baby and Kaylin, but my wife's got a friend round today. That's why I'm going out. That's why I'm going out. I've got a pass. I've got a pass to get out, but I'll only have a few beers and come back. And I'm not driving the car. We're getting a taxi. We're getting a 3-wheeler taxi. Oh dear me. But listen, people, I'm over and out. Take good care, and whatever you do, try and do it well, and enjoy your weekend. And if you're already here in the Philippines and you're thinking of coming, or you are thinking of coming, don't let something like this put you off. They are isolated, really. It's not happening every 2 minutes, you know, and your neighbours are getting shot, and it's not like Dodge City. Could be the Wild West, but I don't think it's Dodge City. Take good care, people. Thank you. Bye-bye. God bless you all.